quoting my book. That's 6 years of lessons learned.
Yeah. It took me about 6-7 years to like kind of find a even mellow like ground.
Yeah.
Because I think when I got back, I was kind of wild.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
And I think you were still trying to like. I was talking to this to Peter Roman today. I think I was chasing that excitement. You know, like when you're on the edge and you get like that adrenaline rush and you believe. You know, like your eyes get bigger, you see more light. You know, everything like. And things slow down a little bit. Like, I think you kind of dig that.
Yeah.
And so, when you come home and, like, everything's kind of mellow and everybody's like, oh, just go work at Walmart. Like, kind of hard.
Yeah.
You know, and so I had issues when, like, people were like, you need to do this. I'm like, F you, buddy. And then I'd get fired, you know? Like, it took me a minute, man. Or, like, you would wake up and you're just, like, incredibly depressed and, like, you couldn't even get out of bed. And so then you missed that day and you didn't even have, like, the ability to call in. You know, you're just like, screw it. And you didn't know anything was going on. You know, like, I really believe, like, in the beginning, like, I was just like, oh, you're just being a twat. You know, like, for real. I was like, you know, like, suck it up, deal with it. And it took me a minute, man, to figure it out. And then once I started talking to Vietnam vets and, like, I started working with homeless vets in Modesto. And that's when they're like, oh, I see where you're at, you know, and they're pointing and kind of smiling at you. And you're like, what the hell are you looking at, dude? And it was a guy that knew exactly where you're standing. Yeah. You know, and then once you started figuring things out, then it started rolling better. Yeah. But yeah, like that first 6 years, like 7 years, oh man, I was worthless. Yeah. Like, yeah. Like trying, you know, you were trying, like I didn't do nothing negative. Like,
well, you don't know any better.
Yeah, because I wasn't getting arrested. I wasn't like, you know, stealing things or anything like that, but things were not clicking. Yeah.
And then you know, I wasn't necessarily hanging around vets. In the vets I were hanging around, you know, were Navy guys from like right after Desert Storm, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, like you're not around that population. So
yeah, because like in Modesto there was nobody. Yeah, you know, so like
still is nobody.
Yeah, like I think there's a service officer now, you know, but yeah, I still never ran into him when I go to Modesto, so I don't know where his location is really. But my uncle's a retired Marine. And so he was in the Marines when I first signed up, but he was always gone, you know? So, like, it wasn't like I could ask you, like, hey, what's going on with this? Like, what is boot camp like? What is this? Yeah. I was going in blind completely. And so when you came out, my uncle was still in the Marines, but I didn't know anybody else. Like, there was no, like, grandpa or nothing to talk to. And I swear it was just like a movie, you know, where, like, you know, your mom says, oh, I think you changed, you know? And you're like, well, of course I changed. What the hell are you talking about? And then, like, when I first got back to my dad's house, like, my dad, my brother, and my dad's girlfriend turned my old bedroom into, like, a giant storage room. And, like, and you're like, well, what the hell, man? Where am I going to sleep, you know? And they're like, well, we didn't know you were coming back. And you're like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? You know, like, it was strange, you know?
Thanks for putting all that trust in me.
Yeah, you know, like, I don't know if they think I was going to die, but I figured they probably thought I was going to move on with your life or something, you know, and then all of a sudden, like, you're back in that same room you were in high school, but everybody's talking about how honorable you are and all these medals you earn, you're like,
you're a hero.
Yeah, and you ain't worth a job at Walmart. Yeah. You know, and so, like, that killed you. And I remember when I got out, you know, and you get that little travel money so you come back home, you know, I bought all these, like, dress clothes and everything, thinking I was going to get a nice job. They're still sitting in my closet. Like... like, you know, and yeah,
maybe you should dust them off.
Yeah, right.
At least you know it's. I was in Okinawa for 5 total years, right? And in in Okinawa, especially on Foster, there's this old Asian guy that hangs out in the transient barracks, right? So like right when you get to Okinawa, they put you in these barracks in Foster. And then, you know, then they push you out to...
Yeah, whatever little unit, yeah.
Well, in the back, in the smoke pit, there's this guy he's a tailor. And so he's always peddling suits and shit, right? And the most flamboyant things you've ever seen, like a bright orange suit.
Yeah, that'd be my dude. Yeah.
But I was coaching a girls' volleyball team in the high school. And me and the other coach were asked to be chaperones. And I was like, oh, I gotta go buy some stuff. I bought these. I'll show you. I'll show you. I bought these like paper white shoes. Yeah. And that was in 2009, 2008, 2009, and I'd never worn them outside until my birthday, like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I bought them. I mean, it's not the same, but like they were just sitting there, and I was like, man, I gotta wear these one day.
Well,
one day.
I always have a problem wearing suits. Like, no one in my family wears suits, you know?
Yeah.
My grandfather was a preacher, and he was buried in chucks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and so, like, when you go to, like, you think it's you know? But now when I go back to Modesto, you see nobody dresses like this.
Suits up there.
Yeah, like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, we're a farm town thinking we're a city.
Yeah.
But we're far from it.
Yeah.
And so when you move down to LA, now you got to wear a suit and everything. Even if you wear a suit, people know that suit looks wrong because you're wearing the wrong damn thing or it's not fitting right.
Yeah.
You know, so you look like a jackass. And like, after a while, I was like, you know what, screw that, you know? And I think like, because when I first started working with the county, I would dress nice and everything, but you're talking to guys who are homeless, who are losing their house, you know, lost their job, and it's hard to connect.
Yeah.
But if you dress down a little bit, then like you kind of feel like a human connection, that this guy gets it. And
how'd you figure that out?
Accident. One of my friends, he's a doctor for the VA, and his wife's also a doctor for the VA. And so automatically you assume like they're living all right, they're doing good. Mm-hmm. But the truth is he didn't become a doctor till he was like 45, 47. Mm-hmm. You know, he was a roofer. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard to see that dude's background, you know? And if you don't get the background, then you're like, oh, you don't understand my struggle. But that dude does. Yeah. And so like if you wear this suit and everything, then it's hard for that guy to say like, do you really get it, or are you just giving me like empathy? Yeah. You know, and like
it's a material separation of class. Right. But it might not be accurate at all.
It's not at all, because like even when I like now I'm certainly more blessed than I've ever been in life, and that's the honest God truth. But like I'm still connected to my people. Mm-hmm. You know, so I have no problem when like a homeless dude comes in, when some gang member comes in, when some dude just got out of jail after 30 years. It's all cool with me. Like, because I'm only caring about how you're treating me. Mm-hmm. So if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. Like, I don't care what the background is. But, like, sometimes you see these guys in suits and things like, oh, no, this guy looks scary, or this guy smells, or whatever. And to me, it's like, maybe, like, this was the best you've been in months, you know? And this is the best this homeless guy could look. And he's busting his ass to get here. So I'm not going to make him feel guilty for coming in. Mm-hmm. And it's like, don't trip, dude. And like, I've been homeless too. So like, yeah, not an issue. Yeah. You know? But I think the genuineness is the fact that you understand it and you get it. Yeah. And it's not just some like little BS sympathy thing of like, oh, poor guy or something or anything like that. I think it's really just about that human connection. And I think like if we care about each other, especially like, I really think the biggest thing our generation's going to do is we're more connected than ever, you know, than the older generations. And I think when it comes to who we actually are, we are the greatest union. We are the greatest thing in the world. Like, find me a vet anywhere. Mm-hmm. They're in the White House. They're the janitors. They're your teachers. They're your police officers. You know, they're running the NFL. You pick it, we could find them. Mm-hmm. And so all we have to do is connect with each other and take care of each other. Yeah. You know, and we could actually run the world.
You know, I was at the DAV conference in Reno.
Oh, I missed it, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, let me show you. Dead air right now. Yeah. I was in Reno accepting that.
That's awesome, man.
I don't know how I got it.
But that's how you learn it.
Yeah, Joe's holding my award from the California DAV. It's the Veteran of the Year award.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I legitimately don't know how I got it.
That's seriously cool.
Thanks. But the mindset of just waking up and doing that stuff is important. But when I was out there, they were saying, and you would know, the older vets, the Korean War vets, the dying off World War II vets. You know, there's a lot of talk in the news right now about getting their caretakers taken care of, because the post 9/11 vets, we have processes. Yeah. But those guys who fought in Korea, you know, they're not post 9/11 vets. Right. So they're having this issue. And they're saying that somebody had mentioned, you don't realize that it's going to be vets such as yourself in the VSO spots, right? Out there taking care of other vets. Right. Nobody else is doing it. Right. Nobody else is taking care of vets. So if the vets don't connect with the vets and take care of ourselves, then nobody's going to care. because, and another gentleman said this, and I connected too, because America runs in two different ways. They love their vets, they hate their vets.
Right.
Right?
There's a swinging pendulum.
Because right after World War II, you know, everybody's like, oh, vet, you're a hero of America. You can go, you know, open a business and get loans and practically get free houses and stuff like that, you know, as a vet. And then, you know, and then look at Vietnam. You come back and you're a baby killer. You can spit in your face. You can't get served food at some places. Right. And the gentleman was saying it's there ebbs and flows, and when is our time, right? So, right. But I mean, hopefully it never happens. But if it does, it's you and me taking care of each other.
That's where it comes from. Because look, I really don't care about the separate groups, like my group or the other groups. It's about vets taking care of vets. Mm-hmm. And the only way we could keep the VA in a straight line is if we keep ourselves in a straight line. And so we keep them to guarantee what they promised already. So the laws are already there. It's just making sure they actually follow them. Mm-hmm. You know? And I really believe, like, if we take care of each other and do things that are proper and right, things move smoothly. Yeah. You know, and just like in the military, you don't cut corners. You just do it. You know, whether it takes 8 hours or 3 minutes, no cutting corners.
Quality versus quantity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's where we could change. And I think the bigger thing in our generation is a lot of the guys from like the Korean War and the Vietnam War and things like that, they got their benefits, you know, if you happened to be lucky enough to get them. But then they were kind of quiet. Yeah. They didn't talk to their neighbor. Yeah. Where like our generation's like, man, what the hell?
Yeah, go get taken care of.
Yeah, like go get your stuff. Yeah. And
which I'll tell you, man, in the book, I didn't write about benefits.
Right.
Well, let me clarify that. I didn't write about service connection disabilities because I didn't want to portray myself as somebody saying, "Hey, go get paid." Right? I wrote that about 2 years ago. Yeah. So I'm still kind of at that point. I'm not like, "Hey, go get paid." Oh, you got sleep apnea? Go get, like, I'm not at that point, but I definitely tell people you're cheating yourself. Yeah. Because you earned everything that you rate.
Right. So, right. Because by the time you come to me, your story's already done. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And now it's just putting a flashlight on it. Yep. But I think the bigger thing for me personally, it's not about us, it's about each other. Yeah. And so it's like if the VA gives you something, then you got to say, what about this guy? What about this guy? So now that we're out, it's the easiest way we take care of each other. Gotcha. You know? And yeah, there is money involved, but the benefits I think are far greater than the money because you talk to the World War II guys, even if they're at the 100%, it's not changing your life like incredibly. It does help. There's no doubt about it, but you're not going to be a millionaire off this. Yeah. You know, but now your kids get college, you know, now maybe they'll pay for your wife to get college. Maybe they get medical. Yeah. Things like that where it's like a little bit easier. You know, like if you hit that 70% or higher, then you could go into like the California homes. So now your family's not paying for you to be in an assisted living. Mm-hmm. Things like that. Yeah. You know, so like I really believe in that stuff, but I think we always have to push it because it's not necessarily about the individual in front of you. It's about taking care of the group. Yeah. The whole society of veterans. Yeah. And so the only way we're going to shine light on these certain conditions like sleep apnea is if we get our guys to get service connected for it. Because if you get a bunch of guys service connected for it, then you have to say there is an issue here. Yeah, there's a trend. Like, just like with Agent Orange. In the beginning, they said, no, that's on you. Yeah. You know, but once you see enough people falling over, then you start to say, Yeah. You know. What do you see? Because I was reading in the Marine Times about the anthrax shots, right? So I had to go get, I think I got 3 levels. I didn't finish my series, maybe 4 series. Yeah. But I'm starting to read stuff on that. It creeps me out. Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, the whole time I was in the military, they used to lose my shot record. And so they're like, start over. You're the only one. Yeah, right? Right? And so God knows how many times you get a yellow fever shot. Like, the hell's that going to do to you? You know? But, like, yeah, the anthrax one, I think I got to, like, the 3rd set, maybe the 2nd, but, like, I didn't get much further than that, but I did them, like, 3-4 times. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And so you're like, I think I'm immune to anthrax. I don't know. Like, that one dropped me to my knees, man. I got the shot, and then like I'd walk away, and then a minute later, it's like you had 14 of your cousins just like giving a burning you a sting. Yeah. Like right, I'm like, oh, why? What is this? Yeah, that sucked. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I've always wondered, like, what the hell is this got to do when you get